Okay, hello GCSEers. Today, as you can see, we're going to look at how did evil get into the world. Now, whatever you believe about it, and there's three ways we're going to look at it in particular, but religious ways, religious beliefs are what we're really concerned with here. So the first two we're going to look at is what does religion say about how evil actually got into the world? And the first one we're going to look at is Hindu belief. Now Hindus, if you remember, believe in something called karma. And karma is this idea of what goes around comes around. So if you do something good to someone, something good will happen to you. And if you do something bad to someone, something bad will happen to you. And that might actually go beyond death, as you remember, or you're going to look at when we look at immortality and what happens when people die. Some Hindus believe that when you die, you either go up the caste system or down the caste system, depending on how good you've been and depending on how karma affects you. So karma is actually a really important thing when we look at evil and suffering, because some people always ask the question, why do the innocent suffer? Why is it always innocent people who feel pain and suffering? And a Hindu would always say, well, they may not be suffering now, but they're going to get their comeuppance at some point in time. And that also leads us to what actually happens, how it actually came into the world. Well, evil came into the world because somebody did something bad. They went against the teaching of their religion, and because of that, that evil obviously happened to them. Something bad happened to them. Some kind of suffering happened to them. Now Christians look at it slightly differently. Christians, as you know, believe in the Bible. Many of them do. Many of them actually believe in the Bible 100%. But this story is often taken as being, while some Christians take it as being, yes, this is definitely true. Others actually believe, no, it tells a story, and that's the story of Adam and Eve. And if you don't remember the story, I'll tell you the story now. But the story is this, is that when God made man and put them in the Garden of in the Garden of Eden, everything was perfect, everything was wonderful. There was no pain, there was no suffering, there was no death, there was no anything. And God gave them just one rule. And he said to Adam and Eve, he said, right, Adam, Eve, you have one rule, and this is the rule. Over there, or there, over there, I've planted a tree, and on this tree is some fruit. And that fruit is the knowledge of good and evil. So if you eat of that fruit, you'll understand what's good and what's bad. He says, what I want you to do is to not eat that. Don't eat that fruit, and then you'll never know what good and bad is, so you'll never be able to do bad stuff. And so therefore you will always live in goodness. And Adam and Eve went, okay, God, that seems like a good idea. And they went about their lives. And the story goes that at one point in time, Eve was walking around in the Garden of Eden, and a serpent comes, and the serpent obviously represents the devil or evil coming into the world, and says to Eve, why don't you want to have that? God doesn't want you knowing all about good and evil. He doesn't want you knowing all those good, all what that is and things like that. And Eve, of course, goes, wonder why God doesn't want us to know. Tell someone not to do something as you know yourself, then they're going to think, well, I wonder why. And so what does Eve go and do? She goes and eats the apple. But not only does she do that, no, she tempts poor Adam. And Adam goes and he eats the apple. And Eve says to him, here, Adam, eat a bit of this apple. And Adam goes, all right. And he eats a bit of the Adam's apple, that's why you get that. But the apple, and lo and behold, evil comes into the world through the sin of Adam and the sin of Eve. And that's what Christians believe. Many Christians believe it. Not necessarily that that's a true story, although some do believe it's a true story, but not necessarily. But at some point in time in the history of the world and the history of humanity, God's given a command, do not do something, or something similar to that, and man has not obeyed that. Now, of course, another argument is the secular argument, or an argument that evil is just something that has happened because we've said that something is wrong. We as a society, you could almost go back to your moral argument. And do you remember that when we looked at social conditioning, and we said that, wait a minute, we decide what the rules are in order for us to live a prosperous life. You can't go around killing people and punching people and hurting people, similar to what we do in school. We say, no, that's wrong. And then when someone disobeys it, we say, you're doing something bad, and so therefore that is evil. Now, many Christians believe that evil, and many Hindus as well, that evil actually corrupts the world, and that's why we get big natural disasters and things like that cause immense suffering and problems in the world. Whereas an atheist or a secular person would say, no. The world needs those big things to happen, the earthquakes, the tsunamis, in order for it to survive and for order it to last. So, does evil cause all the suffering and problem in the world? That's the question that we need to ask. And if it does, is that a religious reason? All right. So what is the actual purpose for evil coming in the world? Is it karma? You do a good thing, you get rewarded. You do a bad thing, you get punished. Is it Christianity? The idea that God gives us these rules, you must not do that, you must not eat of the fruit, or you must not kill, or you must not do something like that. And man disobeyed that, and so evil came into the world. Well, finally, is it that we as a society, when we've come into to form groups of large groups of people, we've said, no, you cannot do that if our society is going to prosper, and people do it, and it's wrong. One of those three things is probably why evil comes into the world. And at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, again, what do you think?